If you're frying, tears is one of it. If I finish frying, sometimes if you look at me naturally, you like, did you smoke or why are your eyes always red? And people will tell you wear glasses, wear hand gloves and all of that, but if you put on hand gloves with that heat, it's not somebody that will tell you. Your hands are always like moving. The calabash you keep turning. Last year, we made 20 basins of Garri. If you see my hand. My post for frying Garri went viral. So I had lots of persons tell me, send me your CV, let's get you out of here, let's do this for you. The next day, another person will tell you, I will sit down again and do it to fit that this thing, and I will be sending to emails and you won't hear from them again.
Yes, I hear. Say when the guy comes.
Mommy, I will soon see job. Mommy, just wait. This where I applied this thing, they said they will come in next week. In fact, but it never came. I also applied for civil defense, and we have been waiting for it till now. And then I even begged to work for a restaurant in Lafia, and the woman said she employs only coppers. I got a little bit depressed. I was like, I never call you. I just wanted to be like, no, that's it, you know. It was not very funny till now. So I decided to put hands in this and assist and all of that.
Edu Ele Ideba, a 22-year-old graduate of mass communication from Caritas University, is also a farmer, a profession which she proudly bosses with her beautiful mother in Ugep, Cross River State. She calls it a family business. With teary eyes and both hands at work, both women try to process the grinded cassava into something edible, a trade which they've both been involved in for a long time. In this new episode of the Niger Woman series, Edu shares the story of how proceeds from the Garri business assisted with payment of certain bills while she was in school. She also explained how her search for paid employment has been fruitless even after her post about her hustle went viral on the social media. My name is Damilare Kola and you're watching Legit TV.
Why are you processing Garri with your mom here? For how long have you been doing this?
Well, we've been doing this Garri processing from as little as I can remember. It didn't start today. From childhood, we have been going to farm. In fact, one of my siblings, Labour, met my mom in the bush. So it's something that we have always been doing, and I assist her. Every one of us, we join her to make it easier for her. It's what we do. When I went to school, I didn't used to buy Garri or buy yams or those potatoes and plantain because we grow them on our own. So it's part of my family occupation.
It's a family occupation sort of.
Yes, yes.
And you're so proud to do it with your mom especially.
Yes, I'm actually proud to do it. It's an occupation. It's very lucrative in a larger scale, and even a small scale which we do, it helps us to, we don't buy food. So when people complain of high cost, we are the ones actually selling it. So it's just the ones we don't process that we join them to complain, and it's easier. I could just walk down there and then I'll pluck water leaf, make my soup. I can process Garri and sell, get money, buy other things I need. So there's nothing to be ashamed of it.
Tell us about your education.
Okay, I graduated from Caritas University. It's in Amojinike, Enugu State. I studied mass communication, and I went for youth service in 2019, and I finished last year, March to be specific. I served in Lafia, Nasarawa State. My PPA was secondary school, where I taught literature, SS2 and SS3. That's how far I've gone for now, but I intend to further it, obviously.
So you did not introduce Garri processing to them when you were?
No, I did not. We just focused on the PPA work, went to school. We had plenty lesson notes to write. My school was very strict, so I didn't even have the time even if I wanted to. and I engage in other activities, church activities and all of that. So I didn't do any farming there.
You went through university or tertiary institution with proceeds from Garri business.
You can say that, because there are times where I'll call my mom that they say we should buy this handout or a textbook. We are going to do Garri next week. I will send you the money on Saturday, and they'll now have to tax my siblings that originally not want to go that week to go there and then do it. You know, now they are selling a basin 8,500. So let's say you do like 3 basins. You can get 16,000 or 17,000 from 2 basins, and you send part of it to me. The remaining one you use for the house. So there were so many times that Garri saved me in school, literally. When the salary does not come, you know, my mom, she's a primary school teacher. They get old salaries once in a while. So when those time comes, the Garri steps in and then cover up for it. So it's safe to say that it helped a lot. Even in my secondary school, I went to boarding school. So Garri was something I had in abundance. So most time when my provision gets finished or my sandals get spoiled, you can easily say, okay, take this Garri, help me with Milo, trade by barter. So I was always the Garri supplier in exchange for either provision or any other thing I need. So it was something I was known for. You could always know that Edu has Garri, even if she does not have any other thing.
So Edu is synonymous to Garri. You can almost say that.
Yeah, you can say that. Even in uni, my friends knew that I always came with a big bag of Garri. So if there's something called Owu in school, so when everybody is broke, I always had Garri, and it used to help for exchange.
So you were never broke like that, like so to say, in school, because you always had Garri.
I always had Garri. My detergent might get finished or money per se, but when it comes to Garri, when it gets to the point where I have to go and beg for Garri, then I will know that, okay, I'm now broke. I need to call somebody.
Since you graduated, I mean, you finished service last year, March, you said.
Yes.
And you've been back home, so you've been doing this Garri business ever since. Is it that you've not found a job, or you decided not to do something else and focus mainly on Garri?
No, I didn't decide not to do anything else. I looked for a job. I finished March, but I came back home May. Okay. Because you know that kind of thing. Mommy, I will soon see job. Mommy, just wait. This where I applied this thing, they said they will come in next week. In fact, I actually got to audition stage for Channels Television. In Ebuka's program, Rubbing Minds, every Sunday, they posted out one invitation for presenters or correspondents rather. I applied. I got mail that I made it to audition stage. They were going to send us information for where we are going to go for the audition, either Abuja, Lagos, or either Port Harcourt. I bought an outfit. I rehearsed everything you can talk about in presentation, and I kept delaying and waiting because I felt Lafia was closer to Abuja, so that I don't have to come back here and then start traveling down there again. But it never came. So I applied for...
When was that?
That was last year.
Okay.
That was last year. I also applied for civil defense in 2018. 19. That September period, there was recruitment. And we have been waiting for it till now. They called us last year, ending, let's say November, to go to write examinations for it. I've written my own. I'm waiting for it, like thousands of Nigerians who applied for it. And then I even begged to work for a restaurant in Lafia. And the woman said she employs only coppers. I'm now out of service, so she can't employ me and give me that amount of money. So when I kept turning my parents upside down, when it got to May, I was like, I have to come back. I've tried. That was when I now came back. So when I came back the first month, obviously I'm not somebody that can sit down one place. So my dad said, with what trade or what skill would I like to learn? And although I saw myself on TV and everything, because I used to work at my school radio station, Caritas Uni Radio, from year 1 to final year. So I used to see myself on CNN in my dreams and everything. So when you say skill, I was like, And I Channel TV is calling me, I'm going to wait and all of that. But I said, okay, Nigeria is moving towards entrepreneurship and skills development. So I decided to learn how to sew. So I put in for 3 months. I didn't want to put in for long because I felt like they are going to call me either channel or the NCDC. You're right. So I put in for 3 months. I finished the 3 months training. I can sew now, like basic stuff. Obviously, 3 months is not enough to learn everything there is to learn in sewing. So after 3 months, I got a little bit depressed. I was like, because I kept telling my mistress that no, I don't. She said, "Won't you extend it?" I said, "No, I'm not extending. What I'm waiting for is going to come soon. So I don't want to, and I don't want to extend it now and then pay you people and then So you can imagine when they got to that 3 months and my colleagues will be like, they never call you. I just want to I'll be like, no, that's it, you know. It was not very funny. I could not even extend it because of that alone. So I stopped. I have a sewing machine inside my room. So I used to use it and practice a little. That was until I started the whole charity outreach. If you check on my page, you're going to see something about that. So till now. So I decided to put hands in this and assist and all of that. You know, it's faster when you have more hands.
So how's it been? What's the major challenge of working associated with working or doing this kind of job? I mean, I saw your mom teary earlier because of smoke from this.
Currently, I had it since I fell down from up bunk in my boarding school when I was in secondary school. I fell down from the up bunk and I hit my eyes. So I didn't need to the fire. If you're frying, tears is one of it. If I finish frying, sometimes if you look at me naturally, you like, did you smoke or why are your eyes always red? It used to be very, very difficult. At night, after you fry, you know that you spend the whole night cleaning your eyes, and me in particular, that my eyes are already disturbing me and everything. People will tell you wear glasses, wear hand gloves and all of that, but if you put on hand gloves with that heat, it's not somebody that will tell you. So that aside, the smoke, the heat, they will tell you skin effect. For me, that just remember to apply cream is God that is keeping our own color. So that's that, and it's stressful. Your hands are always like moving. The calabash you keep turning. Then if you're doing it alone for the two sides, so you're turning your calabash with one hand, and then you're using your turning stick in the other hands, and you're doing it. Like there was a time last year, we made 20 basins of Garri.
In a day?
No, not in a day. How many days did we use? We used a week. 1 week. We made 20 basins of Garri. If you see my hand, I think I even posted the fingers online. It was swollen. There was, oh God. So that's that, and they will tell you that if I slap you, my hand will be like a man only, and all of those things. It comes with it, but it goes, the blisters, you know, breaking firewood, or my mom is usually the chief harvester. So you see her dragging from the dried ground, this harmattan, see how dry the heap is. Imagine dragging something from inside there. So these are some of the challenges we face during the process.
If you had your way, would you stop your mom from doing this kind of Garri business? I mean, if you had your way.
No. I would rather wish for it to be in a more larger scale and more modernized manner, because it's not, we are not doing it out of no other option, you know, like that. For instance, I told you I attended Caritas, and our library fee alone is 60,000. So you obviously cannot say it's the Garri that was paying it. So they are civil servants too. So it's something that we love doing, and it comes from inside. If you're being forced to do this work, you can't do it consistently for that number of years. So I wish that it grows bigger, gets to a more larger scale. You know, there are other farmers out there that they have the equipment. You know, when you're using machines and everything, they grind it here, turn it here, pass here, fry here. It's faster. You bypass the smoke issue and everything. And you can package it in a modern, you know, ShopRite has this packaged Garri and everything. You can package it, you can sell it out, you can even export it out. So I won't wish that something will just change and then will drop. I would rather wish that it grows bigger, in a larger scale, and then our name comes out in the Garri packet or something. Yeah.
What did your friends tell you while you were in school about your Garri business? Did people come to tell you, "Ah, see this girl, oh, Garri? How can you be?" What did they really tell you?
First of all, people don't believe I do this. Let's start with that. So you have to start with the issue of you telling people that you actually fry Garri, because I don't know the kind of image they have in their head that somebody, a girl or a young person that fries Garri is supposed to look like. But I really don't give out that image. Like, aside now, if you go online and maybe see my pictures, or I dress up now and put on the shoes and bag, I will switch up immediately. So when I told them that I used to fry Garri, they'll be like, huh, look at this one. I know this kind of thing like that. I'm like, I used to fry. So you spend more time arguing with them that you're frying the Garri. There are few people who believe you. I've never been mocked for it. I've never been mocked for it. They rather hail you. You know, my uni characters and Madonna are known for these rich kids there. And those people don't have time to mock. I feel it's we that used to do the mocking thing. So they rather get impressed and curious. How you people doing it? So what happened? You see people coming to sit down. So when you do this, like, very interested, and you be like, okay. And then you explain a lot of that. So I've not passed through the ridicule issue. Even online, when I post my pictures, frying and everything, you get comment on, wow, more grace, like that, like that. Nobody has ever mocked me for it before. Nobody. I've not gone through that.
But the major reaction is people being curious.
Surprised. Yes, they get surprised that I'm doing something like that, you know. And then you see people saying, send me your CV, let's see what we can do for you. And I've sent CVs.
Tell me about it.
There was, I think last month, my post for frying Garri went viral. So I had lots of persons come me, send me your CV, let's get you out of here, let's do this for you. You know, you can't send one CV for every type of job. So I would rather ask what kind of this thing. They will tell me. I will go and start re-editing my resume and everything to fit what they are saying. The next day, another person will tell you, I will sit down again and do it to fit that this thing, and I will be sending to emails and you won't hear from them again. So I've also had the issue of write proposal for this and that. You know, there was one that met me for the charity work I do to write a proposal. He has one NGO, on international NGO, that would assist the funding. I spent days and nights writing a proposal, and he just ghosted on me like that. Still there my laptop. I just feel like one day I'll have a means of reaching out to people to still use that proposal, so that it will not be like wasted effort. Because I had to beg. I didn't even have laptop safe. No one had to send me laptop just to encourage me, and I did it all and nothing. So that's that.
So in the coming years, what are you hoping to achieve? I mean, what are you hoping to do in the coming years? I mean, the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Okay. I had plans to further my education. I loved I wanted to go for masters in public relations at Nnamdi Azikiwe University. We're already talking about that before Corona. You know, the school shut down, there was no application, everything, we just paused. And I still have plans to do that in the coming years. Like you said, I would love to get my master's. But right now, doing all these things, from the sewing to the charity to the Garri, it has helped me sit down and be like, okay, you go to masters, you come back and you might probably still fry and everything. So I have been applying to all those governmental schemes, you know, from the agricultural scheme online, all those ones that the government will say apply for this. And I've registered the Garri business we're doing. I've already registered it with CAC. We registered it with Dooley Farms. So with that CAC certificate now, it's enabling me to apply for the scheme, because you can't just apply empty-handed. And right. Someone assisted me on Twitter for the process. So I have that, and I pray that now that I have that, I just had it like 2 weeks ago, it can enable me to keep applying for those scheme. You know, it takes just one click. Absolutely. To turn it around, but not withstanding or not depending on chance to help out and all of that.
Edu's mother, who had started the Garri business since she was young, believes it is a huge help for her family. She is also grateful for her daughter and how cooperative she has been in spite of the stress associated with the Garri business. Good morning, man.
Good morning, my brother. How are you? Yeah.
How's this business, man?
Very fine. We thank God for everything.
So we saw a picture of you and your daughter working on the farmland, with frying Garri actually, and then she told us again that while she was in school, this business helped her a lot. Can you tell us some of those times when this Garri business helped out, seeing that you're also a civil servant?
Sometimes when she called that she needs money in school and salary have not come, I have to enter farm and harvest cassava. That is after school because I don't leave school. After school, say Monday, I'll enter my farm. I always have farm that are very close to the house. And then harvest cassava, process it, sell and send the money, transfer the money to her. And she'll be using the money there for whatever she wants to do. So the Garri business is a kind of support to me. It has been very helpful. Yes.
How easy was it for you to agree or decide to have your daughter go to a private university? How easy was it for you?
We just believe God that sending her to school, God will have a way by giving her the strength to send her to a private university because she deserves the best. She deserves the best. She's not a dull child and she will never be. So the money we pay and we will never regret because it's showing in her.
Tell us more, what kind of person is she? Edu. What kind of person, what kind of daughter is Edu?
No, she have made us proud. We are proud of anywhere I go to. I am proud of. Even the father is proud of her. She went to private secondary school, also private university. She came back with flying colors. We are very proud of her. She has not messed herself. There are some girls there out there as a graduate. She will not be sleeping in the house. But in her own case, no. She is not that type. She is not that type. It's not that because you are here. I have never one day quarrel her. Why did you go out like this? Why do you follow this type of person? No, she's not that type. She respects herself, and I believe it's the way I brought them up. Yes.
Okay, what's the biggest challenge of this Garri business for you? I mean, you've been doing it for a very long time.
The challenges are many. One, the stress of coming back from school, going to harvest, especially rainy season. I don't have good kitchen. The fire will be wet outside, and then you find it hard to set the fire. You come and fry the smoke. My eyes will be coming out with water in the night and all that. So those are the challenges. But I cannot leave it because it's helpful. I can't leave it.
Those pains, they are maybe temporary, or does it have any long-term effect on your summer?
No, I'm using lenses as a teacher because of the smoke. You know, I started it early in life with my parents. I've been frying Garri. I live with my sister at Ecom. It's the same job, business of frying Garri, farming work. So the smoke have affected my eyes. I cannot write my lesson notes without a lens. Yes.
I'm writing proposals. I have people who have reached out to me concerning the charity work I do. So I have in meetings that someone have told me, I would like to meet with you this, meet with you that. So I'll just see where that goes. If it brings out something, which I hopefully pray it does, then we thank God. If it doesn't, obviously when one plans fail, we move. We move. We try something else.
But Garri never fails, actually.
Oh, it never fails. That one is there. Never fails. Do you know that the Garri rose to 9,000 naira, 10,000 naira a basin? 10,000. It rose to 10,000 naira last month for one basin.
And you cashed it. Cashing on that.
So imagine you have like 3 basins. That's 30K.
30K.
That somebody will go to.
In how many minutes? How many hours?
We can fry more than 3 basins in one day. Now the thing depends. For example, see, this is our farm now, but you can't harvest it because it's not up to that stage yet. Right. So it depends on. So all those farmers that went to harvest their own during that 5,000 naira time, the ones that kept their own, they were the ones that enjoyed that period. So if you have 5 basin, you have like 50,000, and that's something that will take maybe another a working class person 30 days work. So it do has its good times, but those times don't last. It's not permanent. We used to sell Garri. Garri can fall to as low as 2.5, from 10 to 2.5.
What determines the fall and rise of the Garri?
I would say season, food scarcity, transportation issue. For example, when it's the planting season for cassava, obviously there will be shortage because it will not be matured enough to process the Garri. So the supply of Garri will be higher since there is lower distribution of it. Another thing there is that those big farmers, they don't even plant with season. It's we that will know that, okay, let's leave the land to fallow a little, let's do this. But there are those ones that do it as a full agricultural business. They keep planting. Those are the ones that they are like back to back with fertilizer, chemicals, modernized them. Those agricultural things that gives you an edge over the village farmers. So we just wait for season. And that happens. And then when we have all these crises, if they block road, let's say in Benue State, or they block here, that place that supplies food to the nation. For instance, Benue State, Cross River State, I can't speak for that state, food passes there from the north and everything. Yeah, we have palm oil and everything. So when we have this kind of crisis and then it affects transportation, obviously people out there will get affected because the food can't pass. So all those things will now hike. They will now inflict the prices. And then Corona, everybody has increased price because of Corona. But like I said, now we are selling 8,500. I beg, 8,000 naira. Okay. But there, maybe in Lagos, I don't think people prices. Maybe if they tell you people that it's like this, it's like that, they will come down here and buy 8,000 naira, and then they will go there and to go up. So that's how it works.